Yes, what's happening, people? Big up to every single one of you. All I can hear is the Spurs game in someone's background. I don't know if it's you, Kenny, or Stricto, whoever it
Yeah,
is,
I've
but
said, oh no, I was me. I said, oh no, they've equalised.
they've equalised. So yeah, it's 2-2. Romero in the last kick of the game.
4 minutes left.
Is there? Well, I think that would be it. That would be 2-2. That's been absolutely terrible, they have as well. 2 goals from Romero, 2 shots. I think that's all they've had. Absolutely crazy. There's been some mad goals tonight. Oh my God. How can you be 5-1 up and then nearly lose the game or nearly draw the game? 5-4. That was absolutely incredible. Big up to everyone that's here, man. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. We've got the Arsenal roundabout back. We've got a great panel. We've got a couple of lads that are going to be joining very soon. We've got Christian in the house, Stricto in the house, Shane's back, and we've got Kenny Ken here. Big up to every single one of you. We're going to look back to talk about whether we thought we dropped points in that Chelsea game or whether we think they might be a point that we look back in May and say fair play. We're also going to look at what we do tomorrow night in terms of rotation, because I think we need to. I can't be seeing the same players. We need to be talking about Saka, Rice, and Timber getting a rest at some point, in my opinion. But there we go. We're going to talk about that and talk about tonight's games, because that has been absolute madness. I was watching that Fulham Man City game thinking, go on, Fulham. They're 5-1 down. And there's actually a chance then to pick something up. So we're going to talk about all of that tonight. And it won't be a long one tonight. I'm up early for a start. And I know a lot of people have got a lot of stuff going on tonight. So big up to everyone for being here. Do you know what? I don't know what you thought of a panel, but Manchester City, like against Leeds, last minute, they hold on. Now against Fulham, holding on. This just ain't the same City. I'm sorry, it ain't. Like, I know people think this is a Manchester City that have got Pep and Haaland. They're going to be going and, winning stuff. But I just look at it and don't think it's the same. Now, it could change. But if they are going to go and do it under Pep and Haaland and co., they've got to get better, because I'm looking at it thinking it's fine scoring 5 goals, but how can you sit and concede 4 when you've playing Fulham? Like, they're a good side, Fulham, but they've been struggling this season. Like, I don't know, but personally don't really think Manchester City are quite there yet, but I think that they could be, but I still see a lot for them to do. But what did you make of the game tonight? Did anyone watch Fulham and City?
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah,
I actually turned on the Spurs game at 4-1. And I was like, yeah, it's done. And then my brother texted in the WhatsApp group and was like, oh, this game's mad. I was like, what? And I looked, it was 5-4. So I turned it back on. Fulham were huffing and puffing. I think King had a chance where he could have he did just lob it over the keeper. Good defending from Guardiola. And yeah, I don't really know what to make of it. I mean, on one side, you can say, yeah, they look shaky. They're conceding goals. 2-0 up against Leeds and they come back to 2-2 and then obviously get the winner. Or 4-5-1 up today. It comes back to 5-4. They could have drawn it. So you can say, yeah, defensively they're conceding goals. But then you can look at it on the other side and say, going forward, they're outscoring teams. If you've got Erling Haaland up front, Foden's in form, and other players are chipping in as well, I'm not sure there's a team they're not going to score goals against. So if they've got that ability up front, I don't think it matters if it's Leeds or Fulham or Brentford or even us, or maybe us, maybe because defensively we're very good. But if they played Spurs, I can imagine it'd probably be a 4-3 or a 5-3. So I don't know. There's obviously frailties there. But while they're winning games, it's going to be tough to say that it's going to be tough to write them off. They're 2 points behind us. They're scoring loads of goals. If they can shore it up defensively, and I'm sure Pep will be looking for in January to maybe sign a right back. I'm not convinced by Mateus Nunes at right back. He's not a defender. O'Reilly's come in and done a decent job. That centre-back partnership of Guardiola and Diaz as well is obviously, they haven't played together that much. And Donnarumma's keeping them in a lot of games, making big saves. So if they go out in January and shore up that defence, they're going to be trouble, man, and they're winning games.
What do you make of it, Stricto?
Bro, I'll be honest, bro. I'm not rating City. It's clear that the fear factor is gone, and you're gonna get games like this where they will outscore teams, but defensively, like, they're in shambles. Fulham had no right to even score a second goal. Fulham had no right. That should have gone from 5-1 to 6-1 and so on and so forth. But defensively, they're so short and so what's the word? There's no confidence in that defense. Like they can be got at. If you can shut up their attack, then you get at their defense, you beat them. Simple as that. Leeds showed that. It's just that Leeds lack the quality in the final third in some areas. Fulham today, if Fulham, I wonder if Fulham would have scored first, how that game would have sort of panned out. Would have been Fulham 1-0, 2-0. They look very, very fragile. Yes, they're getting the results now, but they're going to come against tougher opponents. Haaland prior to this hadn't scored in 2 games, which by normal standards is by his standards, that's crazy. Do you know what I mean? But when he doesn't score and he's not involved, they struggle. They struggle. Yeah, Foden is coming to some form now, but I look at them and they're just too inconsistent for me. They're still going to drop points. I think there's 5-4. I remember the commentator said, Fulham, City have scored the highest goals. They've scored more than Arsenal this season. But then their goal difference just gets blown out of the water by letting in 4. So essentially they've only won 1-0. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm not worried about Fulham one bit. I'm about City one bit. I still think our greatest opponents is ourselves. I still think it's in our hands. We're 2 points ahead. We've got an opportunity to get it back to 5 tomorrow. But essentially, it's in our hands. It's for us to blow away. Yeah, really. That's what I see with Man City.
Yeah, no, with me with City, I had City at the start of the season and I haven't changed my mind. We can say that they let in goals today, but when you're a lot of teams let in goals when you're 3 or 4 ahead, there's always that consolation. Sometimes it gets out of control like that. I get it with Leeds and with Fulham that they went far more than out of control, but they've kept 5 clean sheets. We've only kept 7. We're meant to have the best defense round. There's only 2 less clean sheets. It's not a massive amount of clean sheets difference between us, and they're scoring, relentlessly scoring. So I think I agree that they'll sign in January. I think they'll bring someone in. Like Christian says, I think it'll be a right back, because I'm the same. I think this has done okay there, but he is dodgy. He's getting good. He reminds me of Wan-Bissaka. He's good at one-on-one tackles, but he's often out of position and he's often caught out. But yeah, look, if you're steamrolling teams like that, granted they let in the ones at the end and it looked a bit shaky, and I genuinely got the feeling while it was on. I was like, come on, I really think I'm going to score here. So there is that as well, that they sort of seem to lack a bit of something. But yeah, look, they're 2 points off us. I know we have a game in hand. We still have to go to the Etihad. We have Villa away on Saturday. It can all change very, very quickly. It can change very, very quickly. There's no way I'm getting carried away. And as much as I still fear City, and I still think that they'll go on to do it, I agree as well that it'll be us. If we don't win it, it'll be us. It'll be our fault that we don't win it. It'll be a mentality thing, or it'll be the Chelsea game thing. Not finishing off games when we should. But yeah, no, I definitely wouldn't sleep on City. Definitely wouldn't sleep on City. They're just too good, and their manager's too good as well.
Yeah, I don't think we should be sleeping on them. I just don't see the same City as a couple of years ago, and I'm hoping that Arsenal aren't the same Arsenal from a couple of years ago. That's why I'm bringing it up, Shane, but you're right to say don't sleep on them. And there's a lot of people that I know that had City to win the league this season ahead of the likes of Liverpool and Arsenal. What are you saying, Kenny? Because obviously Manchester City are not the only team. Chelsea, we played them, you were there. Do you think it's going to be those 2 that are going to be going down in the title race? What I mean by that is, are we going to get to February, March and see Arsenal, City and Chelsea and Liverpool all really, really close to each other? Or do you see that it will just be different than that come February, March?
I think Liverpool lost too much ground, in my opinion, because I think it's difficult to come back for. I think Liverpool probably best to concentrate on getting in that top 4, because you can't lose that many games and be that inconsistent and think about winning titles. It's just not going to happen. They should know themselves. You remember, in 2023, and when they defended their title in 21, they were losing too many. They lost a big block of games, and it became apparent that their best bet was just to aim for the top 4. And I still think it's going to be like this season. Man City and Chelsea depends really, because when I think in the second half of the season, Man City, when they went for the titles, they were really strong in the second half, where they'll lose one game and then they'll go on a run where they just win games consecutively. I don't know
I'm not sure if this Man City has that kind of ability to do that, because I look at their team. There's still quite a few. It's not the same. Rodri's not the same player as he was before his Bayern injury. They still haven't got the running, the athleticism of Kovacic. But can't lie, it's a good time for Phil Foden to come back into form. He's scoring goals. You know, Haaland can't stop scoring. Donnarumma is keeping them in games. I just think defensively, if they tighten up, who knows? Chelsea, maybe inexperience will be their worst enemy. But I think with Chelsea is that Chelsea always seem to raise themselves for the big games against the big teams of their own ground. Away from home is a different kettle of fish, so probably not sure. But it's Arsenal to lose. But what Arsenal needs to remember, one thing, just a little reminder that it's not going to be easy. You know, there's teams who have got good players who are going to give us a game in midfield. Their forwards are going to turn our defenders and they'll make it difficult for us. So we just have to be prepared. Because I think Chelsea, they gave us a bit of a tanking. Thank God they went down to 10 men. But yeah,
do you think they give us a tanking, or do you just think they show more fight and spirit? Because I felt
no. It's Chelsea wouldn't allow us to show fight. They got out of the blocks pretty quickly.
Yeah,
they were shot, intercepting our passes, got in their faces. Their forwards tried to turn our defenders. Our wingers were non-existent in the first half, and then we thought we got a reprieve, and their player got sent off from Casado. But in the end, it seemed to have affected us more. Them going to 10 men to them. That just galvanised them. We're the ones who, because I think our mindset was that the referee's going to level things up and try and, sending one of our players to get it to 10-10. So the mindset is get off Calafiori, because, he was on the yellow card. And then when you have that kind of mindset, you're already on the retreat. And Chelsea responded really well in the second half. But yeah, we had our chances. But yeah, overall, best player on the fields weren't Arsenal players. It was Chelsea. Reece James is the man of the match. He ran
easily. Yeah. Yeah, easily. Reece James, to be fair, Reece James was unbelievable. I got to be honest. I thought you absolutely smashed it.
You know what, Dan? The defenders did well as well. I thought second half, Fofana and Fofana did really well. And I thought Chalobah did really well. And I thought Kukurea setting off had a good second half.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I thought Saka got in front of him a couple of times, and then I thought
Saka was greedy. Saka needs to learn how to pass. He's greedy.
Saka, yeah. A lot of people thought he had a good game.
I wasn't saying that.
Some people,
there's quite a few people where I was sitting in the ground saying it.
Yeah. Some people thought he had a good game. Some people thought he had a bad game. Look, I got to be honest. I don't know what you guys think. I'll come to you, positive Dan. Big up to you, bruv. Did you think that was a point gain? Do you think that was points dropped, missed opportunity? How did you see that Chelsea situation, bruv?
To be honest, I think the only time we're going to know that is in May.
Yeah, that's fair.
If we win the league by a point, then it's a great point. Now, if we lose it by 2 points, but we've been here before, haven't we? Of course, with Manchester City when we drew with them 2 seasons ago at their ground, and we were still in the driving seat. And then, of course, we all know what happened at Aston Villa. But for me, considering the week that we had, beating Spurs, putting 4 past them, beating Bayern Munich, and then going to Stamford Bridge, going a goal down, albeit we had the extra player, it's not the end of the world. I think Chelsea, the onus was on them to go and win the game. So I don't know why they were celebrating a draw at the end, because they went from, I was at the game as well, they went from second to third. And a lot of Chelsea fans tell me that they've got, a better squad than Arsenal, and tell me that they're world champions, which they are, but they say they're the best team in the world, which they're clearly not. But yeah, I mean, look, overall, I think it's a decent point. Manchester City, I watched them, I got in when it was 5-2. And I have to say, defensively, they look absolutely all over the place. But as Christian was alluding to, they're brilliant going forward. But is that sustainable? Can that win you a league title? Not so sure. Shane here said that they've only had 2 less clean sheets, but we've conceded 7 goals. They've conceded 16 goals, which is pretty shambolic, really. But they're scoring a lot of goals. Again, I have to agree with the rest of the panel. I think it would be down. We would be our own worst enemy if we didn't win the title. It would be on us. It wouldn't be where I look at when you look at City or Chelsea. I mean, the reason I've been saying so much with Chess that I think we're going to win the Premier League is not just because I believe in the team and I think we're going to do it. Is because I look around and I don't see Kevin De Bruyne, and I don't see a prime David Silva. I don't see a Liverpool team with Mo Salah flying on all cylinders. I look around and I see teams that I think Arsenal are better than. So that's why I think we'll win the league, and I'm still pretty confident at this moment in time.
I don't know about you guys. I'll come to you, Christian, and then Stricto. Like, I see a lot of the Chelsea fans sort of not celebrating, but like
they were
doing
at
a little
Stamford
bit.
Bridge.
Bro, they celebrated, bro.
Yeah,
They were
okay,
celebrating.
cool. I didn't go. I'll ask you
They
because a lot of people said they didn't. Some people said they did. I don't
got
really get
I got
what they're
footage.
happy about, man.
It's a draw with
What?
10 men, though. That's what they're celebrating.
Yeah, that's what I think, Shane. They're basically celebrating the fact they didn't manage to. They thought they were going to lose with 10 men, but I just find Chelsea fans a bit bizarre, really, because 1 minute they've got the best fullbacks in the league, the best midfield in the league, their attack's second best to ours. They've got the second best squad in the league, but then when you say to them, "Oh, you're going to go win the league," then no, that's for you to do. That league, that's for you. And I kind of get weird with that. I'm like, hang on a minute, like. What is it then? Have you got the best squad? Are you going to compete or what? So you got the best this, best that, but you just want to get top 4. I don't know, man. That ain't the Chelsea fans I grew up with. They were the ones that used to tell me they're going to win this, that, and the third. And Drogba was dunking on us. Their standards have gone completely in the bin, in my opinion. But maybe it wasn't that. I wasn't at the game, Stricto. Maybe you could, elaborate. Was that a celebration from them, or was it not? Was it not?
Yeah, I mean, I was sat in the home end with Chelsea fans, incognito. We got my sister Wendy for the hookup, and just watching them and it was such a weird experience because obviously I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm sat there and watching that experience from that side and how they're viewing Arsenal, and a lot of them was shit scared every time Saka got the ball. Obviously they went down to 10 men, and at that point they did give up. They thought, fuck, here we go. And I remember the guy sat next to me saying, oh fuck, here we go. And then they go up top and nick the lead, set piece. In the grand scheme of things, I do feel it's definitely points dropped. I do agree with Dan. You can only tell at the end of the season, come May. But at this moment in time where City now have gained how many points towards us now? Is it 2 points behind us now? That's an additional unneeded pressure that we didn't need. I was kind of enjoying the fact that we had a nice distance. And listen, by the end of play tomorrow, that distance could be restored. But that is an additional pressure that we don't need. Let's say Brentford go a goal up. All of a sudden, the complexity of all of that changes. And that just simply is going back to the fact we weren't able to beat 10 men Chelsea. We weren't able. Bro, at one point, I had to count how many players Chelsea had. They literally were all over us with 10 men. Had the extra space, had the extra man, had the extra pass. I had to count. I'm like, I'm sure Caicedo was sent off, or was he subbed? I wasn't too sure. And I don't know why we were so flat. We and I spoke the other day, Dan, at Stamford Bridge, and we were confident that we were going to go there. And you said yourself that you're sure if we win that game, we can start sort of looking to say we can win the league, because that's a lot of points difference between us and them. But that performance, I couldn't tell you what that was about. We equalized and just dropped again. There was no impetus to try regain the lead and try, take control of the game. And I didn't really understand it. Whether it's fatigue, whether it's down to the fact the players, we had a lot of players on yellow cards. Whether the players had it, like Ken said, in the back of their mind that, maybe Arteta said to them, boys, no fucking stupid, nothing stupid. Don't want to level playing field. And within seconds, he puts on Skelly. Skelly gets a yellow card. Now he can't really do what he's supposed to do. And I don't know. I really don't know. But it was one of the weirdest bizarre scenario I've seen from an Arsenal game, considering we had 11 men. Chelsea really didn't need to do much in that game. They really didn't need to defend much, which was weird. But hopefully tomorrow is one we can right the wrongs and right it very, very well and give Brentford a hiding. But from what I saw, and it's hard to put into words what was really wrong, because I thought Mosquera was all right. I thought Hincapie was all right. I thought, they were all right. Midfield, maybe we lost.
Strict.
We lacked a bit of creativity. I don't know. But
Strict, didn't you think Declan Rice had to do a lot more than usual, though? When he's usually got Saliba there or Gabriel, he was coming back to get the ball a hell of a lot more. I feel like he was literally the third centre back at that time. Dropping so deep. Like, I think he had to protect them to a lot more, and from set pieces as well. I mean, we don't concede many from set pieces. I think if you've got one of them, it makes
you conceded the second most from set pieces last year in the Premier League.
Yeah, last season, maybe last season we had a lot of injuries, but this season I don't know how many we conceded this season. This season is totally different to last season, of course. But this year I can't remember how many goals we've conceded. I don't remember many though conceding from set pieces. But even going the other way, if you look, Chelsea were very smart with them corners, but I'm not sure they would have the same game plan if Gabriel or Saliba are on the field, and particularly Gabriel.
Oh yeah,
did you see
when they were pulling players back?
They were leaving 3 up, so we had to leave 3 up, and they were just, but more importantly, the delivery was not there. It was going. What's his name? Sanchez was picking it up, catching it easy, first man. I think to do with that performance as well, it's after an exhilarating week for Arsenal, and sometimes you do just run out of gas, and I think that's what happened. And this whole theory that Chelsea were excellent, Chelsea weren't excellent. They dug in. They played well. It was a bit of an old school game, but the ball wasn't in play much. Chelsea, I can't remember them really having any big chances.
They had more shots than us.
Did they have more shots?
Who's this Chelsea fan in the corner down there, man? It's mad.
That's a fact, though. It's a fact. It's just a fact.
Every time
Chelsea
Dan's trying to make a point, you just chime in, just like trying to shit on his point. Let the guy talk.
No, just let them know.
Hold on. Why did you mention last season? You said we conceded. He's like last season we conceded the most. What about this season?
No. Yeah, but he's talking about that we don't concede from set pieces. Why do you always wash off the previous season like it didn't happen?
Hold on, but we're talking about in this season.
Yeah, but it's all one. They're all the same players.
No, is it? What in this season? Why does that matter? Last season,
he didn't say this season. He just said we don't concede many from set pieces.
But clearly, he's talking about this season because he's talking about this season's game.
About this season, four shots on target they had, and we had 4 shots.
These man are weird, man.
Their expected goals was 0.79.
Yeah, how many shots did they have? How many shots did they have?
They had 4 shots on target, 5 in total. You can
how many shots did they have? How many shots did they have? Not on target.
5. And how
many do we have?
4.
There you go.
Well, what's the difference? What does that mean?
What does that mean? Say, since
what the hell does that mean?
Anyway,
no, you know what I want to say as well.
How many points? How many points they got?
Yeah, the 6
What's
points
that got to do with anything?
Huh? And the onus was on them.
What do you mean that got to do with anything?
Shane. Let me land it because I heard you in your show say you think we won't be top by Christmas. So what games do you think we're going to lose out of the next 4?
Villa away.
Yeah.
Christmas period. I said that includes January.
Oh, I'm sure we wouldn't be top at Christmas.
Christmas period.
Just quickly on
okay.
on Chelsea, I've never seen a fan base have so much chest after drawing a game. Like, I get it. I gave them praise. I did a reaction straight away after the game. I gave them praise. I thought they were really good. I thought they were better than us on the day. But how overboard they've gone. Like, it's mad. They won't get a better chance to beat us. This version of Arsenal. No Saliba and Gabriel. Trossard, who's been our best attacker, was out. The start of that game, first 40 minutes before they got the man sent off, you could argue they were just a bit better. It was pretty even, but we're away. They're in great form. Their crowd was up for it. We're missing our 2 centre-backs. Cole Palmer was back on the bench. Everything was going their way. All the momentum was going their way, sorry. But, just if you watch the 11v11 first 40 minutes, it was even. I don't get it. I've heard Chelsea fans say, you're lucky we went down to 10 men. That's the only reason we didn't beat I'm like, what? I've seen them say it about United. Fans saying they're Man United are lucky we went down to 10 men as well. It's like, well, stop going down to 10 men then. Maybe you'll win football matches. This is the same Chelsea, by the way. Sunderland came to Stamford Bridge a couple of weeks ago and beat them. Same Chelsea, by the way, went to Karabag in the Champions League and drew. Like, Chelsea are inconsistent. They have quality players. I get it. And they're in a good vein of form. They found a good centre-back partnership. I get that. But they're inconsistent, man. Like, I'm not hearing it. I think they're in a title race. I think they're in it in terms of being in and around it. But I don't think they'll win it. I don't think their team's good enough. And, yeah, man, like I said, I gave them credit. But, like, the chest is absolutely crazy. I've seen them saying they're the best squad in the league. Man for man, 11 for 11. They're better than us.
Yeah, but the thing is, Chelsea have never rated us. They still see themselves as the top dogs in London because of the trophies.
They haven't beat us in 7 games.
Yeah, I hear you.
If you're the top dogs, come and beat us.
Yeah, but in trophy-wise, they are, haven't they? They've got 2 European Cups, we haven't. And we struggle against Sunderland as well.
The European Cups, they haven't won more leagues. Yeah, how many league titles have they won? 13? How many have they won?
We struggle against Sunderland as well. You know what I mean? I think
away from home.
The difference is, though, we played Sunderland away and we were a minute away from winning that game. They played Sunderland at home and lost.
I think what we have in this fan base is that
they beat Liverpool, we lost Liverpool.
Yeah, but if you're an Arsenal fan, you don't praise us enough.
They beat Liverpool at home. They beat a shit version of Liverpool.
If we're objective at the club, we're rivals.
He's not an Arsenal fan, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, but what I don't get,
he's definitely a Liverpool fan, I reckon.
Like, this is like Christ the King, where we're all like getting rattles and going, "Oh, well, we all agree Arsenal are magic and everyone's tragic." It's just football discussion. Some Arsenal fans thought we got a tanker in. Other Arsenal fans think it was even. Some Arsenal fans think it's points dropped. I think it was a point gained because I thought Chelsea was a better side.
Mm-hmm.
They were on the day. I agree. Before the game, I predicted a draw. I said a draw wouldn't be a bad result. On the run of play, when they go down to 10 men, you have to get all 3 points. Credit to Chelsea for not losing. But by the way, if you want to talk about media narratives, what about when we went away to City last year? Yeah, and we held on for a 2-2 draw. They scored 1 goal when we had 10 men. Yeah, and we drew, and we got criticised for not winning that game. Yeah, they scored 1 goal while when they were down to 10 men.
But we got criticised.
We scored 1 goal, shall I say, when they were down to 10 men, and we drew.
I don't think
we're
away. Yeah, we didn't get criticised for negativity. We got criticised for stupidity. Because Trossard.
So why not criticise Caicedo? Why is all the noise about us and not about Caicedo getting sent off?
You want to talk about last year? Trossard gave the referee no option but to send him off when he was winning the game.
Eddie, man. He kicked the ball about 0.6 seconds after the whistle.
So why do you kick the ball away? We're winning. We deserve the criticism.
I'm not saying he's right. I'm not saying he's right. He was right to do it at all. I'm just saying the media narrative after that game was all against us. And for some reason, Chelsea draw at home. And the media is all jumping.
No, you know what? The best way to shut the media up is win the league, and no one can argue with us. That's the best time.
That's why after it as well.
People can hate us all they like, but we'll be the ones. We're the ones in Upper Street celebrating. You know, like I said, hugging each other. It'd be our day of glory. Hate us all we like. That's what I want.
Shane, you're going to come to the parade if we do it.
Yeah, of course.
Come to the parade, Shane.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. Hopefully, Don Revy's there.
I've got every parade. I was at the Cup Final parade since 2017 and 2014 and 2015. I'm part of this, mate. I've learned to write a big part of it.
Run over by the bus.
What's that? I'll get the bus. Yeah, no says no. I'm getting the bus as well. Hey, by the way, Stricto, seeing that you're being you're mischievous yourself again, you didn't tell me what did you have caviar when you were in the executive box?
Like, I told you I don't eat when I'm Arsenal's playing, man. I can't do it.
Right. So I can't believe you said no to a meal that was offered in the executive boxes.
I just can't do it when Arsenal playing. Can you eat when Arsenal's playing?
I don't. Yeah, but I've told you this already. I don't eat before football because but that's just a rule I have. But if I was in executive boxes and offered me like a 3-course meal, I'm eating it.
I just about had water.
You've done well, Strict, to be honest.
You've done well, though. You've done well.
You've done well to be with the home crowd. But let me move towards the next coming games because I think they're going to be massive. And I truly believe we need to rotate people, right? And I said what my team would be with Cecil tonight. I also said it on my show earlier that I would rotate. And the 3 players that I would rest for this game would be 3 of our best players. Now, I'm not saying that we should disrespect Brentford and it's a breeze in the park, but at the same time, I'd much rather have them 3 fit and firing for Villa than I would for Brentford. And I'd like to think that the players we've got to come in can allow us to get 3 points at home to Brentford. That, for me, is the game we should be rotating, not the Villa one. That's the way I see it. Now, some people might think differently. Some people think never rotate. You play your strongest team, whatever. I just think we're going to crash and burn particular players. And in particular, Declan Rice, who I don't know how he's still running, to be honest with you. The guy's ridiculous. Timber is another player. I think Benjamin White needs to come in. And I think Madueke might need to play this one on the right-hand side.
So you can't respect Declan Rice, mate. You can't, because simple reason.
So what do we do? Just keep playing until he gets injured for 6 months?
The thing is, you've got to leave it up to him. When Declan Rice feels he can't do it, he'll put his hand up like he did last season and say, I'm coming off. The fact is that we've created a midfield where Declan Rice is the alpha and the omega when it comes to the heartbeat of the side.
Mm-hmm.
Ken, we did rest him against Forest at home, didn't we?
What's that?
Forest at home, he was rested.
Yeah, but this is different kettle of fish because
Brentford
are a very physical side, and they're in better form than Forest were, and Aston Villa as well. They got some physical.
Listen, I agree with you. I'm just saying he has been rested.
He's going to play. He's going to play. Arteta won't drop him, but
we haven't got that alternative who's going to be able to give us that physical kind of get up and go to get up and down the midfield.
But Dan, who would you play in midfield?
Who's that?
So it won't be this. It will be Rice.
You can't leave him out.
What I would do personally,
physical teams are playing.
What I would do personally is, and he won't do this, but what I would do is I would rest Rice and bring him on, and I would play Lewis-Skelly in midfield, Zubimendi, and then Ødegaard, and rest Eze, because I don't think Eze's been. I don't think he was great again against Chelsea, if I'm honest. That's what I would do, and then bring on Declan Rice. Of course, he's not going to do it. What do we do? We just keep playing Rice until he goes kaput. Like, what do we do? This guy can't play.
That's Rice's choice, Dan. That's Rice's choice.
You know what? Though, I will say,
it's the manager's choice, Kenny.
We played against 10 men for whether Chelsea were good or not. We still had most of the ball. We played against 10 men. It was a less intense second half. You know, it wasn't like we were running to the ground, battling for that whole second half. So I think in terms of minutes, yeah, they played a lot, but I think 3 days is enough for them to be fresh. At home, we're going to have most of the ball. It's not going to be as an intense game as Chelsea. So I think you could play both of them. I would personally rest Zubimendi. I'll play Rice in the 6, just tell him to sit, don't do as much running. And I'll play Ødegaard and Eze. I think Brentford at home, you can do that. Just get the creativity in midfield. Or you could do the opposite, like you're saying. You could rest Rice and just play Zubimendi.
That's what I would do. I'd rather play Zubimendi, Eze, and Ødegaard then, because I don't really want Villa. Yeah, and look, Rice can play a part of this game for sure, but I don't want him playing. Like, if my problem is we get to 71 minutes and it's 0-0. I don't want to be seeing Rice on the pitch still, man. Like, the guy is he is not a machine. I know he plays like one, but he ain't one. And Timber's the same. Saka, all these guys that I don't know, man. I'm just a bit worried about the minutes they're playing. But if you guys aren't, maybe it's just me.
No, I think Rice is a machine, though, Dan. If you look throughout his career since he started, he's played nearly every single game. For West Ham, he played 38 games. For us, every single season he plays every single game. And look, I hope I'm not going to jinx it, but he doesn't really get injured. He very rarely gets injured. Right now, we're in a pivotal part of the season. I would rather him start the game. If we're 2 goals up, then you bring him off, get the 3 points in the bag first, and then let him rest for Villa. Personally, that's what I'd go for.
Look, I hope that you're right and he comes off at 2-0, whatever, if that's the case. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm alone here, but I'm worried for him, man, because I think we lose him, we are dusted. We've got nobody like him. Like, that is the only player I'll be. But I don't mind even Saka going down because Madueke isn't impressive, and Eze's still there, and rah. Timber, look, White's nowhere near the level of Timber, but he's still a very good right back. I don't want any of these players going down, but if there's one that I cannot afford to lose, it's him. Because if we lose Rice, I truly don't think we're going to win the league. I truly don't. I think it's that. It's like City losing Haaland. That's what it is for me. So I think he's that important, man. So I just think we need to protect him a little bit more than we are doing. It's fine saying he's a machine, and like Kenny says, he'll keep playing. It's up to him to say stop. He's going to keep playing, Kenny.
It's only because that's what happened last season. He was the one that I saw a couple of games last season when he was the one who was just telling Arteta, I can't do no more. And maybe they got that kind of relationship. But I'll tell you one player I don't want to see starting the game. You know, I don't want to sort of give myself a bigger head than I already got. I did tell you about starting Martinelli, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was invisible, mate. He was invisible. He was so bad. Like,
Who knew? Who knew? I mean, can we just come to the
mate.
conclusion that Martinelli's probably best coming off the bench? When
Well, I think
Yeah,
he
I
has.
agree.
I think he has come. He has come to that conclusion, though, Ken. Isn't he? He's not been starting. He's only starting because Trossard was.
But to start him, it's mind-boggling starting that guy. I mean, don't get me wrong. He could have put us one. He could have put us 1-0 up, but that's about it. He got locked off by Malagusto.
He was.
But he's going to be shifting Eze out the left now anyway. The Odegaard's back because he ain't staying in midfield.
He's got more options now. Like Dan said, he only started on the left because Trossard was injured. I'll tell you. Said it was a matter of days for Trossard, didn't he? So hopefully he's back, starts out left. Otherwise, Shane could be right. He might put Eze out on the left, which he's
ain't
done
dropping
before.
the three midfielders. If he is a fully fit Zubimendi, a fully fit Rice, and a fully fit Odegaard, the three of them starting midfield every time.
You say that, but there's been 2 games where they have all been fully fit, and he's rested 2 of them. Against Nottingham Forest, Rice was on the bench. He started Odegaard and Marino in midfield. And then against West Ham, Zubimendi was on the bench. He started Odegaard and Eze in midfield. So he does like doing that at home. He wants to, you can create more. We're going to have most of the ball, so it's not out of the realms.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know because the thing with Norgard, I look at him and I think he's not a really physical being. He's like, but maybe we're going to have to start using him a bit. Just because after all, he's an experienced player.
Okay, we said before, if he's not going to rest Royce and Saka and Timber or Gabriel or Saliba away to Slavia Prague or haven't won a Champions League game he's never going to do it. He brought Royce on both League Cup games. He brought him on against Porto. Why is he even travelling with
Shane?
Gabriel on both games as well. Why?
He rested him against Nottingham Forest in the Premier League.
Yeah. So. Is he spine though?
It's one game.
But the thing of Mikel,
that's a big game when he rested him.
Yeah, but Mikel's got a spine of players that are, tactically they're the heartbeat of the side. That's why he doesn't leave them out. Because that's been clear for the last couple of seasons. You know what I mean?
Ken,
I wonder though against Brentford, obviously Norgold's old team, if that will play a part in Arteta's thinking.
I don't know. Brentford. Don't get me wrong. We should beat Brentford, but as we know in the Premiership, nothing's guaranteed. You guys talked about fatigue. Putting it all in against Tottenham. Even though we're in third game against Tottenham, but we really put everything in against Bayern Munich. Then we had to put it in against Chelsea, and then we got Brentford. They haven't got to European football. They could be fresh. We never know. They might think, oh, they've retired. Wouldn't mind a bit of this. That's the thing.
The thing is, Kelly, like Chelsea ran themselves into the ground against Barcelona as well. But they rotated. They rested Delap and João Pedro for Chelsea. And the point I'm making is you have to rotate from the second game of the season. That's when you make a change. You mentioned City going off on one. Apart from last season and Pep's first season, every club he's been at, every single season, they go on a run after Christmas. It's because he rotates from the start. And all the players are fresh. The reason Chelsea looked like there was, like Stricto said, I thought they had 10 men. Is their players were fresh? Their main players were fresh.
They also had an extra day's rest though. They played the day before us, didn't they? So that could come into it.
I think that's going to be. That's one of the reasons why when people say it's Arsenal's biggest rivals is themselves, it's because of things like this. Injuries. Being able to negotiate the rotation. Rotation thing, and the fixtures coming thick and fast. Let's face it, man. We should be going for all 4 tournaments. I get where you guys are coming from. That sometimes it's physically impossible. But
what are you saying, Ken? You saying we're going to win the quadruple, are you?
No, I said we should be going for it. That's you saying it. But I'm just saying that if you've got any kind of ambition, that's what you got to do. The game's about glory. Our fans need a day out at Wembley. We need it. We haven't had a day out at Wembley since 2018. We deserve it. So that's.
But yeah,
we
as fans, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm talking about 2018 when we got absolutely.
2017 it was. 2017 when we won
the League Cup final, Man City mullered us.
Final, I was there.
Yeah, I was there as well.
3-0 down, horrible,
terrible day.
But just on the Declan Rice thing, Potts. On the Declan Rice thing, last season Van Dijk played 37 games for Liverpool. One of them who was injured, wasn't substituted once. 33 years old. Their main guy played every single minute, and they won the league. There wasn't a game where Slot said, you know what, I'm gonna pull him out, and he has previous with injuries, and when they've lost him, they've gone from title challengers to finishing 5th or 4th. So, you know, I just think with Declan Rice right now, the man has to play for me, and it'd be better to bring him off. Just like you said, the difference when he's not on that field. Look, if we're going to do it, we're playing Wolves soon at home. I think that would be the game to do it. Because obviously Forest were very poor when we played them as well. So that's probably why he's opted for it then. But Brentford have looked pretty decent this season.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Brentford.
And they're very direct Brentford. And they, you know, Rice has obviously got a big presence as well. I just hope Saliba's playing for that game because they are very good from set pieces.
Coyote's long throws.
Yeah, exactly. And
the
striker Thiago, he's on absolute fire.
Yeah, he's a mess. He's a mess technically, but he's just effective.
Yeah.
No, he is effective. No, I'm not saying we drop Rice completely and we don't see him for a minute. I'm just worried about it. So I think what Rice is doing, the ground he's covering, like isn't what Van Dijk was doing last season. So I just think he's doing a hell of a lot more on the pitch. So he's going up and down. I'm just worried. That's all. I'm just a bit concerned. I'm not like losing my head over it. If he plays tomorrow, I'm not going to go mad and have a meltdown. I love the player. He's probably my favorite player alongside Saka. So I look at it and think I'd love to see him play every game. I'm just a little bit worried. Let me do these supers and then we'll come to that game itself. AMT says Liverpool were doing it first 5 games. I think they were talking about Man City there in terms of not being convincing, not getting across the line. Jill says Christian screaming about Gabriel and Saliba missing the whole stream when Chelsea had Colwell out. Both teams had players missing. Arsenal outplayed. I don't remember you moaning about it. I think the one thing
he's talking about the AFTV stream.
Oh, was you?
For the game. Yeah, I mentioned it a lot, man. The different, I understand that, yeah, Colwell was a big loss. But Chalobah and Fofana have formed a good partnership. They hadn't conceded a goal together in, I don't know how many games they played together, maybe 3 or 4, but before the Arsenal game. But Nkapie and Mosquera haven't started a league game together. The game they did start together, I think, was against Brighton in the Cup.
Brighton, yeah.
We were shaky in that game. Could have conceded 2 or 3 goals in the first half. So
I agree.
It definitely played a big part in the game, for sure.
I think what was a bit mad and unfair, though, was for people to just expect them to be like, "Well, we're missing Gabriel and Saliba." Of course, we're missing Gabriel and Saliba. Like, this is not 2 players that are coming in there drop off. They're not a huge drop off, like a Rob Holding, bless him, drop off, but they are going to be a drop off. That's for sure. The Chelsea fan here is saying you had 2 shots. Esteval had 3 alone, bruv. Esteval was stinky. Like, he's a good player, but he was awful and had to come off. He was so bad.
And since when did shots, like, I don't get it. There's shots and goals are different things. You might have shots. What does that mean? We had 3 shots.
It's just a dumb point.
Fucking hell, man.
Yeah,
It's a dumb point.
Shots.
The dumbest
Well
point
done,
you
mate.
had, bro. Like,
And you know what the funny
win.
thing is about missing
Christ.
Gabriel and Saliba is that, you know, it's hard to feel bad when Gabriel had 90 minutes combined pre-season and played all 17 games then straight after. You can't really get upset when he pulls up injured. He played more minutes than David Raya before he got injured. Played the most minutes of our team. Subbed on in both League Cup games, started every other game after 90 minutes pre-season after 6 months out.
Yeah, you can definitely argue you could have managed Gabriel's minutes better. There's legit
ridiculous. Bringing him on in the League Cup was ridiculous. Starting him against Slavia Prague was ridiculous.
I have to say I agree with him, especially who was it? Was it Grimsby you bring him on against? I don't know
Port Vale.
him on there.
yeah, but
Port Vale, sorry, not Grimsby. Yes,
but either way, he didn't go down in them games. He went down in international duty.
Yeah, but it's a byproduct of being run into the ground. It's a fatigue injury.
I don't think
if we had been playing instead of Brazil, he would have played. If we had been playing a game, he would have played, and it would have
worked like that. It doesn't work like that, bro.
Of course it
He got
does.
injured away. He didn't get injured at Arsenal. He got injured away.
Yeah, but it was a byproduct of being run into the ground. Of course it works that way.
He's a footballer. He's a footballer. He's meant to play football. He's one of the best. He's meant to play every game.
Yeah, but you have to manage the minutes. He was out for 6 months and he had 90 minutes football.
He got injured on international duty.
Yeah, but that's just a coincidence. So if there had to be an international game that week and we had a match, would Arteta pull them out?
Hold on. If anything, The
Come on.
useless game he played for Brazil was an uncompetitive game that didn't matter for neither nations. That's what we should be talking about, not the competitive games of a League Cup,
Because it was at the
a
Emirates.
Premier League game. What are we talking about here?
But it's a
That was a
fatigue injury,
useless
though.
game.
Brazil
That
didn't
game
run him
meant
into the
nothing.
ground.
Do you know
That
what
game
I've
Doesn't
heard?
make
Though?
any sense.
That game meant nothing.
I-
You're talking
I'm-
about
I'm-
League Cup.
Boys, you know what I've heard though, what he does, but what managers do, apparently, while they bring them on for the last 10 minutes in these games that are like nothing games, or if you're winning or whatever. Apparently, I don't know how true this is. Someone who does sports science told me this, is that so they don't have to then go and do the warm down, which is later. It keeps them later there at the stadium.
Yeah, but then don't bring him to Port Vale at all. That's my point. Tell him to stay home, put his feet up. It's Port Vale. You know what I mean? That's the whole point. The warm down, come on for 20 minutes. It's just, there's no point in it. Sitting in the cold, you know.
But that was that. To be fair though, that was 7 weeks before the injury, so I'm not sure if that 15 minutes.
Of course it is. It's all a byproduct. You have to manage you have to manage their minutes. It doesn't necessarily have to be the game before that led to it. It's all a culmination. The gap in between is massive. If you're doing a workout, you have to take 3 minutes breaks here and there. You know, you can't just work out straight through.
We didn't need Gabriel to come on against Port Vale.
No, we didn't.
We didn't travel, Dan. Didn't even need.
We didn't. But Van Dijk did it all last season as well. So
the reason,
look at
the
him
reason
now.
I
Look at
agree
him now.
actually, and I see Stricto's point. Yeah, he got injured for Brazil, but we had Hincapié there. You know, Hincapié was sitting on the bench for a long time. You know, he was just in the squad for a long time, and then when Gabriel goes down, he has to come in for a massive game. You know, starting his first Premier League game against Spurs in the North London
That's why the
derby.
rotation helps.
If you'd managed, you know, this is what I'm saying. This is where I'm agreeing, and I don't usually agree with you. I think you make a lot of rubbish points, but you're making a good one here. That if you'd played Hincapié a little bit more, you know, luckily we were all over Spurs that day. But if it was a tougher team than Spurs that came to the Emirates, and Hincapié comes in, like we saw against Chelsea.
Hincapié was injured himself, though.
Hincapié was injured himself.
Yeah, shocking with the training, isn't it? Same thing happened to Norgard.
Hincapié was injured when he first came in, but there was he was on the bench quite a few games. He didn't get any minutes when he first.
See on the training thing. What are we saying with the training? What are we saying? They should lower the intensity. Because whenever I'm watching the overlap with Man United players and all of these top legends, they all say, or if there's like another player who used to play at another club and then he went to United, they all say that the levels of training was like playing in a match. That's what all the top stars say. Your Roy Keanes, your Paul Scholes, they say that training was that intense. It was just like a match. Whereas at lesser clubs, it wasn't like that. It was a bit more laid back. So I don't know about that one. And to be honest, none of us are there at the training. So we don't know how intense it is. And with injuries, I think it's a factor of things. Is Mikel does he take some part of the blame? Of course he does. He's the manager. He's the one managing the minutes. But for me, there's loads of different factors that go into it, because there's other people at Arsenal here with, you know, checking who's in the red zone, who's in this, and he's getting a lot of advice from other people.
Mikel takes no notice of red zones. Only Wenger's the only manager that actually,
and he gets the final decision.
But how do you know that, Ken?
Mikel, because simple reason we've seen evidence.
How do you know that?
Because we've seen evidence when players been running in the ground, and we've seen players getting second injuries. It doesn't take a rocket science; it's there for our very eyes. Mikel does not believe in red zones. Is Wenger the one who was always talking about red zones? You remember that time when the North London derby about 2006, when Henry and Wenger had a blue because Henry wanted to play. Wenger said, "You're not playing because you're in the red zone." And then Henry went on TV, and what did Wenger said? "I need to remind him of his responsibilities, and I'll have a word with him."
Ken, I also remember when he played him 60% fit against Liverpool, and he played him when he was 60% fit when we played Liverpool and beat him in the unbeaten season when we had just gone out to Chelsea.
I'm talking about 2 years, the couple of seasons afterwards, North London derby. Because I remember Henry in the last season didn't finish the season. He was injured. Because basically we ran him in the ground.
I got to agree, honestly.
In the World Cup, he by the time he went to Barcelona, he must have lost about a yard of pace. He weren't the same Henry that we had.
If you think about it with Arteta as well, he has played Saka a lot over the past 5 years when he hasn't needed to play. You know, Carabao Cup, FA Cup games. I think his inexperience does show sometimes when it comes to rotation. Not that we've always had the squad. We've definitely got the squad now. So you can rotate more. Whether he's going to, he has it at times. But you got to use the squad more, man. You know, I remember Thomas Partey, I think it was in the North London derby, when he pushed him back on the pitch. You know, a player saying, "I want to come off," and he's pushing him back onto the pitch. Like, We have seen his inexperience at times, but then you can also argue we didn't have the squad, so he's got to play them. I don't know, but I have seen a manager that at times when you can rest the player, even this season against Liverpool, William Saliba gets a knock in the warm up, and he's not 100% fit. Instead of playing Mosquera from the start, don't get me wrong, he hadn't played a game for Arsenal yet. Saliba plays 5 minutes in, comes off, Mosquera comes on. I think that sums it up a little bit.
One thing
big
I would say with Mikel is he stopped playing football 8 seasons ago, maybe. Yeah, he knows the mind and the body of players and what it takes to play at this level. I'm not okay, with the exception of Saka, I will agree. I think he overused Saka in some games, considering he was our best player at the time. But we have to remember, this is a man who ain't a Pep who retired how many years ago, who ain't a Jurgen Klopp who's never played at the top, who ain't insert any manager's name there. But this guy is come off relatively his career ending not too long ago. He knows all of this stuff. He knows what a player would need to do to play and when to drop them. So it's not a case of he's over killing Saliba, not getting the knock. We spoke that time. Saliba would have said you wanted to play. I'm all right. I thought it's not too bad, and there would have been a discussion of if it aggravates you anymore, we'll have to take you off. And exactly what happened. It aggravated him more. We took him off.
You know what I think it is as well, though. I think team. Go on, Shane. Go on, mate.
Yeah, no, just with the Saliba one, you have to wait for the swelling to go down before you can even scan it. So to take a risk on it is outrageous. To take a risk on it, could have been a lot worse. He sent Timber back on when he had an ACL against Forest.
Do you know what I think it is as well, though?
He played Ben White for 3 months when he needed knee surgery. 3 months he played him. He's ruined him. He played him for 3 months when he needed knee surgery. He played him on a grade 3 hamstring against Newcastle 3 years ago. He pushed Timber back onto the pitch when he was injured. Timber did an interview and said before the PSG game that he couldn't walk. He couldn't walk before the PSG. Oh, I need you tomorrow night, Jurian.
Shane, so you're saying he's going against the player's physical condition.
I'm sure he manipulates them
to play. That's what you're saying.
I'm sure he's telling them they have to play. Yeah, I'm sure he is.
No. You tell me that's what he's doing.
Even if that's not the case, even if the player wants to play, it's his job to stop him. It's his job to say, no, sorry, mate, you're in the red, or you've got a grade 2 hamstring, or you need knee surgery. You can't play, mate. I know you want to play, but you can't play. That's his job.
I agree with you to an extent, Shane, but you can't say he manipulates the players, man.
That's crazy.
If you ask Ben White wouldn't say that. Listen, I remember Steven Gerrard getting injections. He said he was getting injections in his feet every time he played a football match. Thierry Henry, that interview he did with who is it? Steven, the guy who does all the guy from Dragon's Den or whatever his name is. He did an interview, and Henry said that Henry said his casts were gone for the last 10 years of his career. He said his casts were absolutely gone, shot to bits. And he said the reason he stopped playing football was one day he went to go on, I saw this interview only the other day. He went to go, his daughter said had to him to play it, and he went to go and get it, and he couldn't move because his casts were done. And he said that he was playing through these injuries for the last 10 years. He said he was in agony every single night. And a lot of these players, they do it. Steven Gerrard, I've seen him say it, he's getting injected up, to go and play. And I think when there's so much on the line, and you've got so much scrutiny on you, fans like Shane on your back and that, and you've got your best player available, it's very hard not to. But listen, at the end of the day, he's the manager, and he's the one he's gonna get blamed for it at the end of the day if things go wrong.
Shane,
so we'll have to see what happens this season, won't we?
I've got a question for you. Who would you start tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm with Dan. I'd like to see Royce rested, but like I said, there's 4 games already he could have been rested in, the 2 Champions League games against Olympiacos, Slavia Prague. We wouldn't be having this conversation if they had been rested properly up until this point. Now we're having to have the conversation of we need to rest 2 or 3 players. My point is that if you do it properly from the start, and you look at Pep, he'll change at least 1 player a game. 1 player a game he'll change.
So what would your team be tomorrow?
I'd go with Ben White as well, like Kenny Ken said, if he's physically able to do it. I wouldn't rush Saliba back because he was injured. There's no way I'd rush him back. The 2 lads can handle. Although Thiago might give them a nightmare, so I don't know. If Saliba is fit, I'd play him. I'd probably play I don't know if I'd risk Lewis-Skelly either at left back. He hasn't been great. I'm pretty sure Odegaard is going to start. So I'd probably go
What, you're
Odegaard,
playing
Eze.
Hincapié and Calafiori?
Well, I'd play Calafiori at left back, yeah.
And
Would you
Hincapié
play
left
Odegaard,
back, yeah.
though?
Yeah.
Shane, would you play him Odegaard?
Oh, if it was my choice, I'd never play him. But I mean, if we're going to give Rice a rest, we have to bring him in. You know what I mean? Unfortunately. But, you know, so I'd probably go Eze, Odegaard, and either Zubamendi, I suppose. And then to rest Rice for the Forest game, or for the Wolves game.
Villa
But he
game.
should have been rested before this. He should have been rested long before this.
Would you play Saka?
No, and that's nothing to do with injuries, just because he's been awful recently.
Awful.
So I'd play Madueke. Yeah, he's been awful. Absolutely
Been
awful.
awful.
Yeah.
It was one of our better
I
players.
think he's
Wasn't
permanently
great.
damaged by this guy. Anyway, he's lost about 5% of his burst of pace from that grade 3. He hasn't got that burst of pace anymore.
You
And
thought he
I
had a
worry
good
he
game
won't get it back.
Christian?
I didn't think he had necessarily I wouldn't say good game. He wasn't awful. Far from awful. He had Cucurella a few times.
Decision making.
Put a goal, you know,
his
good
decision
moment
making
for the
was
goal cut
terrible.
back.
I think Saka's
frustrated,
set the
Kenny,
bar
because he
that
can't do what he used to
set
do
the
when he's
bar that
snapping
high,
off
hasn't he? That's what
Yeah.
it is. He set the bar that high, so we expect.
And
more from
that's
him.
true.
I've said it on
His
loads of
decision making
streams.
was bad, very bad. He was making decisions. He was thinking rather than making a simple pass and getting our players in. He was thinking of glory.
Yeah, I agree with that. There has been a few times this season I've watched him and thought you could pick the pass there rather than going for goal. He loves to come back, even when he's got just half a yard of space. He wants to get that shot off. I think a little bit more now. You've got to start passing inside.
And then I thought he had an okay game.
And then I think Cucurella come back.
His decision making became a bit because sometimes when your opponent's down to 10 men, the logical thing to do is to actually keep it simple and try and manipulate the fact that you've got an extra man. What he was doing was thinking, I've got to win this game. I've got to do the same thing. And there were times when his shots one was a grass cutter, one went into nearly hit one of our fans. It was like, come on, mate, simple, keep it simple, man. We got an extra man, and it was feeling. I was getting annoyed, and and I thought, right,
he did have the best moment of the game, though, didn't he?
What's that?
With the cross, he had the best moment of the game for us, though, didn't he?
Yeah, but you've got to remember one thing.
That's what he does, Saka, isn't it? That is what he does.
The thing is, we were doing this. We did this with Mesut Ozil. And we do this with Odegaard at times. Like we don't look at the whole game. We just think, oh right, he scored a goal, he's had an assist, and we don't analyse the whole game. Yeah, there was a lot of things he did that was making me angry.
Yeah, Strict. I know you've got to go. What are you saying for tomorrow, prediction wise, bruv?
Tomorrow, I'll be happy with a 1-0, 2-0. I think at this point of the season, with what the injuries we've got, I think it's more so about results more than performances. And if it's got to be a shocking performance and a victory, I'll take that into the Villa game. 2-0.
Okay. Safe. Okay. Listen, big up, bro. Always a pleasure having you on, Strict. Legend, my guy. And we'll catch up.
Nice one, bro.
Shane, yep, Dan, Ken.
Love, bro.
Chris.
Love, man. See you later, man.
Love.
Dan, can I just touch back on the Saka thing there, though? Because Shane, do you think he's finished?
Do these supers, Dan.
No, I don't think he's finished.
Let me quickly do these supers, and then we will do it. These guys have been waiting. They're quite poignant points. Our centre backs and keeper are so shit. That's why we won't win. Our last good centre back signing was Thiago Silva, who was 37 years old. We had good centre backs every time we won the league. Don't listen to Don, who overrates everybody. Big up to Don, by the way. The episode of him on Big Six last night was absolutely hilarious.
The guy was doing a madness.
That is Don, man. That's why he does on this channel every week, man.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, he is what he is. Faye says, are you guys worried about Odegaard replacing Eze and us losing the assist and goals that Eze produces? To be fair, if Odegaard can get back to the form that he was on, like 2022-23, I'll be fine. But if he doesn't, then I think, it's not going to be good. I know Shane said he wouldn't play him. So we'll have to see what we get. Bag and Patry, go full strength versus the Brentford and Villa and rest them for Bruges and Wolves. He could do that. Maybe he's going to do that. But I hope that ain't 2 games too many. Netweed says, playing awful and at the Troll Bridge, and we still got that result. And this mighty emperor of the YouTube comments, Esteval didn't even score. I'm encouraged. Big up to you, Netweed. Hope you're well.
Good point, man. It was one of our worst performances of the season. We still didn't lose. I know they had 10 men, but come on, man.
Yeah,
We don't look back at the end of the season and go, "Oh, we drew, but they had 10 minutes." Like, it is what it is.
Yeah, it
Still
is
could
what
be
it
up.
is. Pav says Gabriel's been playing banged up since the start of the season. I was at the Olympiacos game, and during the warm up, he was not doing anything with the ball. 2 physios kept massaging his quads, and he was witnessing. Oh God, that's not good. That's true. I didn't realize that. Big up to Suj. He says, big up Dan, panel, and chat. Hit the likes and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to the panel. Injuries happen, but more rotation helps when it does happen. Suj, you're a legend, my bro. Thank you so much
Big
for
up
the super
Suj,
chat.
man.
Thank you to everyone.
Big up, Suj.
Chats as well. Big up to all of you. Sorry, Dan, you wanted to make a point on Saka, bro.
No, I just wanted to ask Dave if Shane thinks he's done now, like Saka, if he's absolutely.
Yeah,
finished.
no, he's not done as a player, but he definitely won't get back to what he was. For me, he's a burst of pace player. Michael Owen got ruined at 19. Openly admits that at 19, grade 3 hamstring was never the same again. He says he was on the downturn from 19 after a grade
So you
3
don't
hamstring.
think we'll see
Any
the
player-
Saka of like what he was doing until he got injured last season?
No, I don't. We'll see it in flashes. We'll see it in flashes. I don't think he'll have 7, 8, 9 games in a row where he dominates. I don't think he has it. If he was a different player that doesn't need a burst of pace, then I'd go, yeah, fine. If he learns to adjust his game, maybe, but he doesn't have that. That's why he's shooting all the time. He's getting frustrated because he can't shift inside the way he used to and leave two players behind. He has to snap off a shot and he's making the wrong decisions. If he learns to adjust his game the way Salah did last season when he lost a bit of pace and he started playing through balls and things like that, sure, he can still be an amazing player. Salah doesn't rely on pace, unbelievable. But
Says Saka doesn't rely on pace. I don't know if I agree with you completely, man. It's from what I was saying. I think Kenny Ken just said it. It's not necessarily been his burst of pace or cutting inside that is missing. I think his decision making is what's been affected. Maybe that comes from match sharpness. Comes from I don't know what it comes from. We saw him score a couple of great goals for England.
Match sharpness, played nearly every match.
Yeah, but isn't international football?
Yeah, sharpness in terms of just getting back to your best, getting that confidence back. I think maybe confidence is affected.
I've got something for the panel.
Injury as well.
I've got something for all of you.
Go on.
What? Perhaps he's playing in his wrong position, and perhaps that maybe we should explore giving him a freer role and even a false number 9, because at the end of the day, he is a goal scorer, and he has got a goal threat, and his finishing is on point. Maybe
maybe he needs to readjust his game just to freshen.
I think he'd be a very. I think he'd be a very good false number 9. The guy's a goal scorer. You know, when I look at him in the sort of where he plays now, and I compare him to Madueke is more of a winger who will try and put a cross in and try and make that pass for a striker, whilst Saka is more of a goal scorer now.
I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure he has the physicality to do that. To be up against 2 centre backs.
You see the size of him?
Imagine
he's
being
more
Newcastle.
than it.
No, he's strong, but I'm up against 2 big centre backs. Like Saka up against, I don't know, Dan Burn and Shaw at Newcastle, trying to hold the ball up, win headers in the air. The way we play with a false 9, I don't think it would suit him at all.
Because where he's playing at the moment, I don't know. I think it restricts him at times.
I think he's played his best football for Arsenal on the right.
I like Saka, but
restricted.
I'm not sure I see him as a false 9, but I've been wrong before. Kenny's been right before.
I think the thing with Saka for England, he's always going to look $1 million because international football is like it's basically like slow, and then quick in the last third. He's not necessarily required when he plays against some of the cannon fodder we play at international to go boom up and down, up and down, up and down. He's conserving his energy in the last third.
He's not tracking back as much, Kenny, for England. He's not forced to track back.
He doesn't have to because international football's not. He ain't about that. You don't play Spain every game. If you play Spain and France, yeah, he's probably going to have to track back. But in the sort of games we're playing in the sort of group stages, in the qualifiers, and you know that when England will be seeded in the World Cup, they're going to play. They're going to play a European team, a very low-ranking European team. They're going to play a team probably in one of the 4 corners of the world, and they're going to probably play maybe 2 kings from the 4 corners of the world. He'll thrive there because of the pace of the game. But the way we play at Arsenal, I don't know. You talk about Saka being running the ground. You're talking about the energy levels and him probably not being the same player. I don't know. If we kind of moved him into a sort of like a free role, maybe who knows? Maybe we could get the best out of him.
I don't think he's going to do that though, Kenny. Is he? So
he probably won't. But I do think that there's goals in this game, man. The guy,
Oh, without doubt. But I think there's a
you know what it is, Dan? I could sleep well on my point in that when I look at a player like Saka, I want 25 goals and 15 assists every season because I think he can do it. And
someone said in the chat, Kenny, the Cole Palmer role might suit him. The Cole Palmer role, where it's sort of like a second striker.
I don't see what he's good enough to do it, but I just think I don't know, maybe because there is a few things where people are talking about, the amount of goals he scored in the calendar year and the amount of assists, and I'm thinking, is he being restricted? Does he need a free role? Look, if we get the best out of the only player that's going to win us the league, if we get the best out of him, isn't Declan. It's him. It's Saka. He's our main man. Declan's our heartbeat. He'll run all day and he'll build us a wall. But Saka's the artiste, and we need to find a way to get the best out of him. Because if we don't get the best out of him, who knows? We could, we could once again fall at the last hurdle. Because
I agree. I think Saka's the one we got to get the best out of. SCR says Saka's been okay, not what we want to see from him. However, to say he's been awful, that's having an agenda. Awful is Richarlison. Awful is Garnacho. Big up to you, SCR. Look, let's close on this. Tomorrow night is another massive game because every game is massive when you're going for what we're going for. Christian, what's your thoughts on this game and how do you see it going, mate?
Yeah, game we should definitely win. I'll rotate a little bit. I would do a midfield of I'll play Odegaard and Eze, and I'd rest either Zubimendi or Rice. Probably Zubimendi. I thought he was a little bit off it in that Chelsea game. Got himself booked. I think, play Rice in that 6. Less running, keep a bit more fresh for that Villa game. We're going to have most of the ball against Brentford. It's not going to be a high-intensity game unless we let him into it with stupidity, which I don't think we will. I play 2 attacking or more attacking midfielders. Odegaard in kind of the 8 role. Eze a bit more advanced. I would play Saka. I'll probably bring Gyökeres back in. And if Trossard's fit, I'll bring him back in on the left as well. So, I think we should win. I'm gonna go 3-0.
Okay. What are you saying, Kenny?
Team-wise, I agree with quite a lot of things. I am going to go with the back forward that played against Chelsea. Declan Rice, I start to leave him out in it. But I think Odegaard will replace Eze. And I think it'll be Odegaard, Rice and Zubimendi. Up top, I think Marino will have a little rest on the bench because we're probably going to need him for Aston Villa. And I think Gyökeres will start alongside Saka and hopefully Trossard. That'd be my team. But I think if we underestimate Brentford, and I don't think we will, but if it's going to be a frustrating game. But I think we'll win about 2-0.
I don't think we'll underestimate them at all. Sorry, Kenny,
but we underestimate them.
Our last home game was Bayern Munich. We beat 3-1 pretty comprehensively.
These midweek games, over the years, you've always had some strange results. And a lot of the times when teams, fall asleep at the wheel because they think the team they're playing is cannon fodder. So if we don't show Brentford any respect, we'll come away with a nosebleed. But I don't think it will happen. 2-0 going forward.
Okay. We'll speak to you, Dan and Shane. Dan, what are you saying for this one?
I'm going to go 3-1 to Arsenal. If Saliba plays, I probably would have said 3-0, but I don't think he will play. I'll go 3-1, and I think Saka's going to have a good game. I think Saka's going to score, and I think Saka could potentially get man of the match. I do think they'll score. We've been conceding now. We've conceded in the last 4 games now, I think. So, obviously missing Gabriel is a big miss as well. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Arsenal win.
Okay, and Shane.
I think they will score, but I think we'll win 2-1. I think Thiago the last month has been the most informed striker in the league. I think so. Yeah. If Saliba doesn't start, he might get in Hincapie's face. He might the long throws and stuff like that. I do feel then they could go, but I do think we'll win. But the only thing is, if we do go 1-0 down, it could be slightly different. But I still think we have enough. We should have enough to roll over them. Even if we made 3 or 4 changes, we should have enough to roll over them. So I think we'll win. I think we'll win 2-1. I'd love a 3-4, but at this point, I just take a win because Villa away is going to be rough, really rough. The most informed home team in top 5 leagues, I think, aren't they? In the last 28 games. I think. Unbelievable.
Tomorrow.
Villa, who they got again? Can't remember now.
Brighton,
Brighton,
bruv. It's gonna be a
That's
massive, massive game, man.
Brighton away, yeah.
Right
It's
away
not
is
bad.
tough.
Chelsea-
No,
Chelsea-
home
Welbeck,
form is
who's the
outrageous.
third top scorer in the league. Can you believe that?
What's
Haaland
that?
with 14. Then you got Igor Thiago with 11, and then Danny Welbeck's the third top scorer. Crazy, it really is.
Did you take
US
the World
Guinness
Cup?
says, I look
Did you
at
take
Haaland.
we did take Welbeck to the World Cup.
100%, bro. 100%,
Yeah.
bro. 100%. He should have got in the squad the other time, but that's another podcast. I look at Haaland today. If only we can get Gyökeres scoring like that, I'll feel more comfortable. Yeah, so would I, man. I think anyone scoring like Haaland, it'd be unbelievable. Look, we're going to leave it there, people. I agree with Shane. I think it'll be 2-1. I actually think that Igor Thiago will score. I think they will score from a set piece. But I do feel like Kenny says, a bit of a mess, but he just is a nuisance.
He made him last season, but he done his cruise shit, isn't he? Because he was meant to play with Wizard.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's right.
But he goes cruise shit. So this season is his first season.
They find some good strikers, didn't they, Brentford, man?
Always.
Yeah. Their scouting's been brilliant. Did I miss a super chat? Dan, you missed my super chat. No, I did that one, Joe. I think that was about Christian, wasn't it? Yeah, I did that one. I didn't realize Christian was screaming, but he said he was on AFTV apparently.
Not about screaming, but definitely mentioning it.
Listen, people, make sure you do me a favor. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, and you're following every single one of these people. We're going to redirect you over to Dan, Positive Dan and Negative Dan, who are going to be doing a show right now. So big up to them on Gooners Therapy. Make sure you hit like.
You ain't got Marty on this time, have you?
Hey?
No, it's too late for Marty, bro. 11 o'clock at night. You can come and join us though if you want, Ken.
I'm sure you'll get me on when my good friend Marty comes on.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. That was a good little
Legends,
battle. That
man.
was
Legends. That's always a good show, man.
I swear Marty wouldn't let me leave the panel unless I agreed with him.
That's never going to happen, bro. Never going to happen. Look, people, do me a favor. Make sure you follow in OK Jerseys. Use the code 12man, 8% off for Christmas. So go and have some fun over there for friends and family. And please make sure that you are following my channel merch, which is now launched. So please make sure that you're going and showing some love to that. That's the link in the description as well. Make sure you're following.
Trying to copy me with the merch stand, right?
Well. Yeah, man, look at that. I can't. Love it, man. Love it. I love that, man. Oh, we got another super chat. Gyökeres just the IKEA Colton Cole. That's harsh, brother. That is very, very harsh, man. Let's hope he shuts a lot of people up. That's for sure. Look, go show some love to Dan, and we will see you next time, people. We're out of here. Laters.
Peace out.
Nice one, boys.